of the recent holidays, when I had a long drive to do, I put a couple of podcasts on a flash drive to listen to with the family. And it's something we've done for years, and I honestly didn't expect anything different. But this year, there was a problem. Because the podcast, a podcast which has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with politics, kept insisting on shoving the political views of the hosts down the throat of the listeners. Guys, knock it the hell off. Of course, this isn't the first podcast that I've ever dropped because they couldn't focus on the topic at hand. There are lots of them, not just podcasts, but YouTube channels that insist on constantly harping on politics, even when their topic has nothing at all to do with it. I mean, I've seen cooking podcasts that had to keep taking pot shots at Trump, gaming podcasts that just can't keep from pushing a political narrative, and atheist podcasts that spent most of their time pushing leftist propaganda. In this case, it was a gaming podcast, specifically an actual play RPG podcast. But they've proven that they can't simply play a game, they have to cram regressive liberalism down your throat. Now, I've known this was a problem for quite a while. The podcast in question has been putting calls to action at the end of each and every single one of their podcasts, and every single one of them is ridiculously regressive. I mean, I remember one time when they wanted everyone to contact their congressman and say they oppose Nazis. Sure, because actual Nazis are such a problem in the modern world that we have to waste the time of our elected representatives en masse to tell them that we oppose a group that hasn't really existed since 1945. No wonder they don't get anything done. But I'll be honest, it was something that was at the end of the show, so I could just stop listening before it showed up. They peppered a couple of mindless Trump attacks here and there, but I really don't care that much about that, and it's never something that's been expounded upon. But this game was different, and it came at the very beginning of the episode. This time, they decided that the game they were playing wasn't politically correct, so they were going to just change the whole game and spend about 10 minutes apologizing to the listening audience in case anyone got triggered by reality. Yeah, you can just fuck the hell right off. I mean, seriously, if you feel the need to fundamentally change the whole premise of the game because your precious widow fifis are hurt, there's something wrong with you. And if your audience is too weak-willed to decide for themselves whether they want to listen to your content, then your audience is retarded. And let's be honest, that's what this whole social justice bullshit is all about. Thinking that those who bother paying attention to you are too damn stupid to make decisions for themselves. Because if you think about it, that's really what they're saying. Their audience can't make their own decisions what they want to listen to, but also, if you really think about it, they're saying that their audience can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Because I guess when you get right down to it, the regressive left can't. They just can't tell the difference between a game and the real world, or between a movie in the real world, or between a book in the real world. They think their audience is stupid, and apparently there's no problem with that. Nobody has any responsibility at all to think or react for themselves. It's apparently the job of the people on the podcast to tell their audience what to think and how to react following their absurd regressive ideology. And this is the kind of thing that just pisses me off. But the more you look at these regressive morons, the more common you find out that this kind of thing is. Because it's all virtue signaling nonsense. These people think they're automatically better than everyone else, smarter than everyone else, that they get to tell everyone else what they're supposed to do to be as virtuous as they are. It's just absurd. So, Anyhow, the game they were playing is called Everyone is John, and it's a free RPG that has the potential to be hysterical. And the game that they played was really funny, I will give them that. It's not something that's supposed to be taken seriously. In fact, no RPGs are to be taken seriously. They're entertainment. That's it. The core mechanic is that the aforementioned John is nuts, and he's being controlled by various voices in his head. And of course, that's what they objected to, that it makes crazy people look bad. Well, guys, it's a fucking game. Get used to it. That's all it is. Stop taking games so seriously. But no, instead of following the rules of the game, they're going to forever modify the scenario so that John isn't crazy. He's been possessed by demons or something else that doesn't say a thing about the state of mental health. Because that's what the game is supposedly trying to do. Be a treatise on the mentally insane, designed to insult them directly. What the fuck is wrong with these imbeciles? Are they out there boycotting Star Trek movies because they're offensive to people who think that they're Klingons? Seriously, what the fuck? I mean, if you don't like the game, don't play the game. Now, a very long time ago, I did a video on the regressive left bitching and whining about the game Cards Against Humanity because they were offended by the core principle, by the core mechanics of the game. So much so, and they whined to such a degree that they actually got the people who made the game to take out cards because they were too offensive. Dude, that's why the game exists. Are you that goddamn stupid? Oh wait, don't answer that. Anyhow, this was more of a rant than anything else. Regressives, keep your stupid politics to yourself, especially if you're doing something that has nothing at all to do with politics. The entire world doesn't revolve around your ideology, whether you want it to or not. It isn't like a creeping cancer that invades every aspect of your life. Or is it? Maybe that's a good way to describe what regressive politics actually are. They can't help but think about it 24/7, 365. It's more like a religion to them than an ideology. They don't know how to shut it off. I'm sure a lot of them don't even know that they're doing it. But here's a newsflash for you clueless idiots. If I wanted to be preached at, I'd go to a church. I wouldn't be listening to a gaming podcast. I wouldn't watch an atheist channel on YouTube. If I want to talk about politics, I know where to go for that. This isn't the place. I don't know why you can't figure that out, but because you can't, I'm taking my business to someone else who isn't so ideologically clueless and politically ridiculous. Adios, muchachos. Fuck you and your politics.